So much, guys. Elle Duncan, Ashley Brewer, what's up, everybody? We hope you enjoyed that semifinal game between Italy and Spain. Baseball fans get to enjoy the best pitcher in Major League Baseball in action tonight. More on that later because, Elle, it's time for the finals. Let's go.
And then there were two, Ashley. We're so ready. The Desert, as you know, set to host their first NBA Finals game in almost 30 years. That's just one of many storylines. We are just over 3 hours away from tip to game one, and here is what we know. We know that at long last, one of the longest active title droughts in the NBA is going to end. Since joining the NBA together in 1968, the Suns and Bucks have combined to win one title. That was Milwaukee's, and it was 50 years ago. As for the Suns, they're the first team in NBA history to reach the finals after a 10-year playoff drought. The NFL's Bucks actually just did that earlier this year, of course, and we remember that ended with a championship parade and a tipsy Tom Brady. And for Milwaukee, it's 8 years in the making. The Bucks used a 1-month span in the summer of 2013 to draft Giannis and trade for Chris Middleton. Both rank in the top 5 in playoff scoring for the franchise and are now hoping to add a little jewelry. Let's set the table with the players involved.
Walking into here, seeing Mr. Larry on every poster, it gave me goosebumps.
If there's a souvenir shop, I'll probably get my wallet and buy something.
It's obviously something that millions and millions of people around the world would give a lot to be a part of. The fact that myself and my team and everyone in this organization has an opportunity to play in it is incredible.
Being able to be a kid from Little Rock, Arkansas, being able to represent myself, being able to be in the NBA Finals, it's a dream come true.
This is a kid's game that we play, you know what I mean? So this is a blessing and an opportunity to play this game. I think our team knows when to lock in and when we got to enjoy the moment and enjoy ourselves.
Everybody count us out, and the fact that we just keep moving forward, all you can really do is just congratulate us.
Crazy because every year when you fight to try to get to this moment, taking hits, fighting, and actually be here before a game, it's hard to put it in perspective.
It's kind of the survival of the fittest mindset. You know, I don't think it's really about the throw hands, but you know, the closest thing you can do that without doing it. We're not here to, justify what we're doing to anybody else, for real. We've had goals for this group and aspirations for this group since day one. We're on the constant pursuit to get better.
It's an opportunity for a lifetime, and really just leave everything out there. Believe in yourself because you prepared for it, and most of all, just enjoy it, everything that comes with it.
Enjoy, we will. SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage as we say hello to Malika Andrews, who's joining us now live, covering the Bucks for us. And Malika, we all want to see Giannis on the floor for game one. Of those storylines I just ran down, that's the one that's lingering over all of this. What can you tell us about his status as we were about 3 hours from tip?
Well, he has been upgraded, Elle, from doubtful to questionable. But as Adrian Wojnarowski and I have been told, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been going through around-the-clock treatment because he is one of the ultimate competitors in this league, and he wants to be out on the floor. Now, Giannis was able to go through a workout yesterday. It was away from the cameras. It was separate from the practice that the team went through yesterday afternoon. And Mike Budenholzer said that he's continued to make progress, but he didn't elaborate on exactly what progress meant. Now, Chris Middleton said that he's been trying to support Giannis by saying, hey, do what is best for you. Take your time. Don't come back before you're ready and risk getting further injured. This is a decision that's going to need to come down a little closer to game time, but we all know Giannis Antetokounmpo, he wants to play.
Listen, we know better than anyone. The Bucks do better than anyone. Game one does not necessarily mean you won't win the series. They got hit in the mouth against the Hawks and went on to win it all. Let's play worst case scenario for the Bucks, Malika. Giannis can't go, right? How are they going to adjust?
Well, what they've been doing for the last couple of games without him is winning by committee, and that starts with Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is the guy, Drew Holiday said, we have ridden his shoulders all the way to these NBA Finals, and they may need to continue to do so. But what they are looking at is trying to continue to be aggressive. Drew Holiday told me yesterday that when Giannis Antetokounmpo, when he is out on the court, he is aggressive all the time. And so he tries to make up for some of that lack of aggressiveness if Giannis is unable to go. They've also been doing an incredible job of penetrating, getting into the paint. They need to continue to do that. They know that that is their game. They are big, they are strong, and they need to play to those strengths, Elle.
You said it. They are coming off wire-to-wire victories despite the fact that they didn't have Giannis in that Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see. Should they not have him if they continue that tonight? Malika Andrews with the latest as we await more news on Giannis' status for Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
All right, let's do a little flashback. The Bucks are making their first NBA Finals appearance since 1974. Current coach Mike Budenholzer was just 4 years old. They were led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had over 32 points per game in the series. The Bucks eventually lost Game 7 at home to the Celtics, but Milwaukee, with Kareem and Oscar Robertson, had won the title 3 years earlier, back in 1971. All right, let's go back to 1993, the last finals appearance for the Suns. Devin Booker wasn't even born yet. Chris Paul was 8 years old, and Monty Williams was still playing college ball at Notre Dame. Charles Barkley was league MVP that year, the first for the franchise. But not even Sir Charles could stop Jordan. A clutch three-pointer from John Paxson, of course, would give the Bulls the title. SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage. And we now welcome in our friend Dave McMenamin. So, Dave, let's get back to this Suns team. I first want to ask, though, Chris Paul handling the NBA Finals. This is his first appearance. How is he feeling as he approaches this first game of the finals of his career?
Yeah, actually, he said the weirdest part about this is probably the same thing a lot of my friends in their mid-30s with kids are feeling right now, that there hasn't been any games to watch over the last 6 nights. He said he's fallen into this routine where he's watching the other playoff series that are going on. Well, obviously, having clinched their spot in the finals close to a week ago, he's run out of things to watch. He said he's trying to remind himself that even though he wants to be locked in and focused on this incredible opportunity, it is still a kid's game. So he's trying to bring that levity and, mix of focus and levity to Suns practices. And also being a kid's game, he said he always listens to the input of his son and of his daughter when they have something to say about how he's playing on the court.
All right, it's loud in there, which means it is time for the NBA Finals, right? We're still waiting to hear about Giannis, his status for tonight. But assuming we do see him at some point in this series, what's the Suns' plan to defend the two-time MVP?
Actually, I spoke to DeAndre Ayton yesterday, and as excited as he can be about making the finals in his 3rd season in the league and just 22 years old, he has this incredible challenge around the corner of trying to stop Giannis if and when he comes onto the court. And he told me the 2 keys here are try to defend without fouling and wall up the paint. Obviously, you want to try to get Giannis shooting jump shots rather than finishing at the rim with dunks and layups. He said part of that strategy will just be matching the physicality and matching the competitive level that Giannis brings to the court. He said, if I do that, we'll have a chance.
Yep, it is do or die. The NBA Finals beginning tonight. We know if Giannis has the choice, he will do so. Just got to be healthy to do it. Dave McMenamin, thanks so much.
You know it's a special night in the NBA because SportsCenter with Stephen A. is coming up here at 7 o'clock right here on ESPN. In the meantime, we're lucky enough to get a few minutes with Stephen A. right now as he's joining us live. And I want to talk role players right now, Stephen A., in this thing, right? Because with Giannis either unavailable or let's say potentially not at 100%, it's going to fall back on Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Who would you say is more important in this series of those role players, Middleton or Holiday?
Well, the first most important thing I want to say is that your hairdo is lovely. I really, really like the hairdo, Al. It's really slamming. So I got to give you props where it's due, okay? That's number one. Number two, let me get right to it. Drew Holiday, I think, is going to be incredibly pivotal because of the way that he's been playing offensively. But the key thing is this. The ball is in his hands. He's got to make sure he doesn't turn the ball over. He's got to shoot effectively from the perimeter. But the biggest thing, Al, is this. He's got to defend. Because when you talk about the Phoenix Suns and whatever their success is going to be, it's predicated on the greatness of CP3 and Devin Booker. If you neutralize them in any way, you've got a significantly better chance of winning this series. If you don't neutralize them and you just allow CP3 to go haywire like he did in Game 6 against the Los Angeles Clippers when he dropped 41 points in about 35 minutes without a single turnover, then guess what? The Phoenix Suns are going to walk away from this series as defending NBA champions.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw Drew Holiday take exception to how Trey got it on him, right, in the first couple of games, and he decided to turn it around, and boy, did he, before getting hurt. He certainly shut down Trey. We'll see if he could do the same thing with the Suns. I do want to talk about Giannis and Chris Paul, right? They're both currently in their first NBA final. Who would you say is under more pressure to win a title, and why?
Well, I think you're going to look at CP3 simply because he's the one that's been here for 16 years. Okay, when he was playing in the NBA, we don't know how old Giannis was at that particular moment in time. At least I don't off the top of my head, but I don't think he was even in high school, for crying out loud. We're talking about a guy in CP3 that's been around for quite a long time. It's 16 years. He's universally recognized as one of the most illustrious point guards this game has ever seen. I think if he wins this series and wins a championship, he's a top 5 point guard all time. That's how I feel about him. You're talking about an Oscar Robertson, a Steph Curry, a Magic Johnson, a great Isaiah Thomas, people like that, with the Jason Kidds of the world, the John Stocktons of the world. But CP3 is right in that conversation if he wins an NBA championship. So you look at this team as presently constructed. You see that Giannis has been compromised with that hyperextended left knee, and you say, excuse me, the Phoenix Suns have the horses that it takes to win this series, particularly with a hobbled Giannis Antetokounmpo.
My favorite thing about this series, Stephen A., is that the most seasoned person, the person with the most experience, is Jay Crowder. So if anybody needs to know, he's the only one that's ever even been to the NBA Finals on either one of these teams. That is remarkable. Stephen A. going to stick around, talk a little bit more about Game 1. I do appreciate you recognizing my hot curl summer. So thank you very much, Stephen A.
Gotta work. Gotta work.
Some more headlines, of course. We have our NBA Finals tonight, and as we told you, Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo has been upgraded from doubtful to questionable for Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight against the Suns. And sources tell our Adrian Wojnarowski and Malika Andrews that Giannis will be a game-time decision with that knee injury that's kept him out of the last 2 games for Milwaukee.